How are you?
Yeah, good, thank
Can we do
you.
it in Hebrew?
Oh God, no.
No?
I can't speak Hebrew.
Not a word?
No.
Really? Yeah. Good. Shalom.
Sababa.
Can I say shalom? Oh, sababa is good. That's all you need.
That's all you need. I
Yeah,
had to
that's
get
all you
back.
need. So firstly, I have like tons of questions. I hope we have like a couple of hours. When you pitched the idea of a movie starring Hitler as an imaginary friend, a comedic character, how was that received? You probably need like balls of steel.
Yeah, well, it's luckily for me, I didn't have to really pitch it at all. I already knew just from trying to describe to my friends what I was working on. You know, I was writing the script, and they said, "What are you working on?" I said, "Well, it's about this kid who's growing up and he's trying to be the best Nazi he can, and he's got some imaginary friend who's Hitler." And I could see them going, "Why are you making this? What are you doing?" And I started feeling like, oh, I know somewhere in here is a really good film. The way I'm trying to describe it is quite difficult. And so I ended up just like shutting my mouth and just writing the script and writing a movie that I thought was going to be really good. And then I just sent that around and I said, just read the script and you just read this, and this is the pitch, because once you read the film, you read the script, you get it, and you get it within 15 pages. You understand the tone, you understand everything, and I think that was probably the best way I could have approached it, because I think otherwise I would have just continued to vocally pitch this film really badly. So so then it went around town, and it's exactly what happened. People loved it, and then Searchlight said, "Hey, we love it so much, we want to make it, and you should play Hitler."
So let me be your friend for a second, because you said your friends asked, "Why are you doing this?" So why are you doing this? Why this movie?
Well, when my mother told me about this book, Caging Skies, and it was 2010, and at the time I read it and I thought, yes, it's good, and at that same time it was the 20-year anniversary of the Bosnian conflict, and when I was a teenager, that was that's what was happening, but for me, I was pretty ignorant as to what it was. For me, it was just that war on TV, halfway across the world, and it didn't affect me. And then in 2010, I thought, well, I'm going to read about this war, because I heard about it a lot when I was young, and then I read a lot about it, and I read what was happening and the atrocities, and especially things to do with kids and what kids were, how kids were treated, but also what kids witnessed. And then it struck me that in every conflict, in every war, there are children around, and they are witnessing what grown-ups are doing. And I guess it made me feel kind of ashamed, to be, to start, as a whatever age I was, to be now part of this world of adults who who kids look at and start feeling like they don't trust and they can't rely on, and these people who are unreliable, and they're destroying the planet, and they're constantly killing each other. It's like, so for a child, like how do you expect to grow up in the world with hope, or with with hope for a bright future, if this is what you expect to become? So that's really where the impetus was like, I wanted to make a film that said we are repeating the same mistakes. We're repeating these things again and again and again. And children are watching us, and we need to do better.
And I wanted to ask you, firstly, about you being Jewish. How does that affect everything? And secondly, you said that you told your friends it takes about 15 pages to get it. So you weren't surprised, I guess, about the controversy surrounding this film, of people not knowing what's in it, but looking and saying, okay, it's a film making Hitler a star.
Yeah. Well, Hitler was a star back then. He was a rock star in Germany. And that cult of personality was something that I think people forget, that like he managed to trick an entire country into following him on this crazy journey, and so I thought, what better imaginary friend to have than this, like, the most evil person you can imagine, giving you advice on what to do about this Jewish girl in the attic. Interestingly, it's not really the real Hitler. It's it's a version of Jojo. So it's like a 10-year-old in a grown-up's body, and So yeah, so for me that was like, it's very important to have that element in there because it's an element of surprise, but it also shows what Jojo could become. Like in his mind, it's a projection of like, maybe this is what I'll be when I'm a grown-up. The worst possible version of Jojo.
And the fact that you're Jewish playing Hitler, was that something significant for you?
It was significant only in that I really felt like it felt really good to be insulting to Hitler by playing him as a clown and an idiot, but also from a Polynesian, a brown person who's of Jewish descent, and that to me was just like a kick in the balls for him.
That's a win.
That's a win.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cheers, man.
Thanks very much. I loved it.